everyone, and welcome to Super Average People. Today's episode is featuring Christina. She is a midwife, she is a mum, and she organises groups in the community that get people together to be, just real and to connect, such as women's circles, birth conversation groups, and mum groups and playgroups. Yes, we need government change. Yes, we need policy change. We need change on a massive scale, but we need to continue to hold ourselves accountable for the individual change that we need to continue making in this world. Yes, I find this so hard. I feel like I've made so much change on an individual level. I don't know what more change I can make, but I need to continue to believe that I, as an individual, still have the power to affect great change, even if it's just a ripple effect through the world. There are two motivating forces in this world, love or fear. You see it on a big scale with government. You're making decisions out of fear of losing money, fear of losing power, fear of not being liked. This is just a reflection of us as individuals. I mean, when was the last time government made a decision based on love? When was the last time you made a decision based on love, not fear? There will always be dark forces, but we can't let this be the dominating story of our lives and of our world. Whilst Christina is doing incredible, tangible work in this world, it's not what she's doing, it is who she's being. She is an anchor for that story of love being the dominating force. And she's holding that lens for what the world could look like if we all acted from that story.
I'm Christina. I'm 35, nearly 36 years old. I live with my partner, Mark. He's my soulmate. I really can say that, my absolute love. My other half, I have 3 children with him. Jala, who's 11, Marley, who's 9, and little Koa, who's coming up to 1 now. But I had a really free childhood. I grew up in the country, so I had a lot of space and a lot of nature around me. I think my favourite thing about nature is just how good I feel when I'm amongst it and how connected I feel. I feel like maybe I'm more complete when I'm in nature, and I think that's just because we are nature, which is what we forget. I'm a registered midwife in Australia. I'm not currently working because I'm on maternity leave now, leave without pay, because I've chosen to take longer to be with my son. I got into midwifery after having my second son because I was just so blown away by the care of my midwife, just having one woman who I got to know and fully trust be there and support me to have this powerful, beautiful experience at home with family. And I wanted to share that with other women. I wanted to do what she did and basically support women to have the kind of birth that they wanted and was right for them. So I started studying when my second son was 1.5, and it took me 5 years because I wanted to be there for my family at the same time. I didn't just want to smash it out and get the career, and I had a family by choice, and I wanted to raise my kids. So I wasn't prepared at all for the birth culture in Australia. I don't know, I had this naive idea of I would study and become a home birth midwife and support women to have these amazing, beautiful, physiological births at home. And my studies were not like that at all. I was doing shifts at the hospital, and shift work in itself is just insane and really hard. Hard for the body, hard for the mind, hard for your family. And then just seeing the crazy amounts of intervention with women from the minute they are, come and say that they're pregnant to basically sending them home with their baby. At a root level, the intervention is due to not trusting women and women forgetting that they can trust themselves as well. There's so much fear in something that's so normal, so natural. It's heartbreaking that babies aren't born into a world of love, trust and safety. And I'm not saying that no babies are, but a lot of the time it's not a gentle entrance into this world where they come in and believe that the world around them is safe, a safe place and a loving place and a soft and a gentle place. And then it's heartbreaking that women are being mistreated. It's probably one of the most heartbreaking things for me at all, over everything, is that women are being absolutely mistreated and then sent home broken and then made to feel like it's their fault or that they need to own that. Like, that is a cultural thing, and the whole of our society should own that, that's what we're doing to women. And it's not that their body's broken, that their body got this condition that then made them have that kind of a birth and then get postnatal depression. That's not an individual problem. That's so much bigger than that. And I feel like until we own that as a society, that we're all responsible for that, and we need to change how we view women and what we want for them and why that's even important. Because the ripple effect of how a woman feels about how she's given birth and about herself as a mother is just huge. Because if she parents her children in power and she has a relationship with her partner in power, then she's got so much more to offer this society. I've heard women say that their postpartum went for 6 years, that they didn't feel like, not themselves again, because you're constantly changing, but they didn't feel, I guess, whole again or where they'd like to be until 6 years later. But it's different for every woman, and I don't think we can say, 6 weeks, you should be good by now, you should be, back into life. And it's a really individual journey, and it's as long as the woman says it is. Definitely, I still feel like I'm in the postpartum period. I'm breastfeeding tons, and I even did skin to skin with him the other day because he wasn't well, and that felt really beautiful. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm I feel like I'm in between worlds, and maybe that's what the postpartum period is, where women are really in this in-between world. And that's why we need to care for them so much more and treat them so much more gently. I remember my mum once saying, new mothers are so sensitive. And I felt really triggered by that. And now I think about that a lot, her saying that. And I think, yes, actually, I am sensitive and I am vulnerable. And that's okay. I need to be, because that's where I'm at when I'm caring for a newborn. And so I need people to be treating me like that. If we held pregnancy, birth, the postpartum period, parenting, all of that as more sacred and really understood it on a deeper level, or tried to, I think we would slow down and we would treat each other with much more respect and love and compassion. And I think we'd try to understand each other a lot more. And all of those things surely are only going to contribute to a better world. I don't think you can treat pregnancy, birth, the after period, parenting with reverence and not realize that it's a part of nature and that it's so natural and simple and it's who we are. So once you realize that and you connect in with nature and that you're part of nature, then you're going to treat nature better. And that's the world that we live in. Like, it's not separate. We can't hold those things in reverence and then not care for the rest of the world or each other. So I do think it'll have huge impacts if we can change the way we care for, all of that. The impacts on our world are phenomenal. I definitely have hope that this isn't just coming, but it's here already. I mean, I see women all the time choosing to have a different kind of a birth experience, whether that's even just stepping outside of the hospital or even staying in the hospital, but having their own midwife or trusted person and deciding that they might not want this intervention or want to have the room still after the baby's born and hold that sacred space for a little bit longer. or carry their baby more often, or breastfeed a little bit longer than last time. It's there, it's in us, and once it gets triggered, we just want more and more of it because it feels so right. It's who we are. So I see that all the time around me. Yes, you know, I still see all of the sad things that are happening in the world, not just with birth and all the rest of it, but you know, everything. But you still see so many amazing things happening and people doing amazing things, and I just think that that's always going to be here, and it's stronger than the other stuff. It's bigger than the other stuff. It'll always win. I think love will always win. I just love people so much, and I love bringing the people that I love together, and even not just the people that I know, but like new people. I get so excited by meeting new people and then introducing them to someone that I know, and just seeing this connection and sharing of stories. And I think that that's one of my gifts. But I love to sort of just portray myself as real as possible and to be super vulnerable, because I have this desire for people to crack open a little bit as well and to show their real selves and to feel comfortable to do that. I hate the idea of people holding back from fear, and I feel like if I can make them feel as comfortable as possible so that they can go, oh my gosh, like it's okay to be like that, or to actually say that, yeah, I don't know, I also did that and I don't feel great about it, or I've experienced that and I was ashamed of it, or whatever. It's like, we all do it, we do, and we've got to stop pretending. And I think the minute we stop pretending and we can really be real with each other, the better we feel. You just feel better when you don't have to fake it. The first really profound loss in my life was my mother, which is 5 years ago now, and she died of cancer, which was a long enough journey for her. It wasn't a quick thing, and it was the most profound experience of my life. Like, I would say even over birthing my own children. It was really beautiful, actually, and it taught me so much about life, and I feel like my heart cracked open and I became a much bigger and more open-hearted person. And it's just as important as birth, yet our society doesn't place any value on death, and we're really scared of it. But I didn't feel any fear when I was supporting Mum through it. I only felt deep, I would say unconditional love for her. That's what I felt like she needed in that moment. And I felt like it just felt really amazing to be able to give her that. And I feel like that's what dying people need. Yet when we're in our ego, I feel like we just have fear, and that's probably the worst thing to have around a dying person is fear, because you actually just need to be there for them. And that's what I learned from being able to support Mum through that. I think having that experience and having Mum die at home was phenomenal. Like, I can't even imagine having her be in a hospital or a home dying there. Just, she had to be with us in our home where she lived, and it's a little bit like home birth, right? Like, it just felt like it was our experience. It was the way she would have wanted it, and that way I could support her so much more truthfully. And it was just what it needed to be. It was peaceful, it was spacious. For me anyway, my brothers and my dad were there as well, and they said afterwards, oh, you're so brave and so strong. And I didn't feel either of those things, brave or strong. I just knew that I wanted to put myself aside in that moment and just be there for her. And I feel like doing that helped me to have a beautiful experience with her, and mainly just for her to have an experience of not going into death with fear and tension, and just, I think that's the biggest gift we can give a dying person. So yeah, it just felt bigger and more powerful than the world we know on a day-to-day basis. I don't know if anyone's ever experienced this in birth, but in one of my births, I felt like the universe that opening up above me and pouring down its energy into me as the baby was coming. And the same thing felt when Mum was dying. It just felt something had cracked open and it was bigger than us, and that was just amazing. Get a lot of joy out of connecting with people, and that's not, you know what I've realized lately, that's not even just adults having conversations, rich conversations with other adults. I've been having amazing connections with Koa, 11 months old, and that's been bringing me so much joy. Non-verbal connection where I'm just really starting to, I know it sounds terrible that I'm saying I'm starting to, but really seeing him as a soul, a spirit that's full and complete already, and that he has so much to offer me and to share with me, and learning how to receive that is huge, and is just, yeah, it's so exciting because I'm just learning a whole new way of communicating and connection, and he's teaching me that. I think that's amazing. At the moment, what's happening for us is that we've sold our house and we've bought a caravan, sold a lot of our possessions and just kept some things that I don't want to have to rebuy again later when we need it. And we're going to travel around Australia. There's not a time plan. There's actually no plan at all, except that we're going south and following the coast because I really need to be around water for a good while. I didn't want to do this forever, just stay put and both of us work to earn money just to keep living without, I guess I felt like it was without really getting the most out of this life and exploring and living some dreams and overcoming some fears. I think we needed a shake-up to see what we really want, what we value in our lives. I feel like the year will give us time to really slow down and connect with each other and connect with the world around us, and to change some things in our lifestyle. Like, we've got a lot of work to do within ourselves, both of us, Mark and I. We were brought up in a certain way, and we have stories that are layered up on top of each other, and to find our true selves and what's really important to us and how we can give back to this world in the best way. I feel like we need to have time to strip back those layers. It's impossible when you're working so much, or when you're tag teaming, or you're so busy. It's impossible to do that inner work and work on yourself. And for me, that's just so valuable. I feel like I don't even know what I want to do in this world, or where I need to put my energy, because I don't know who I am and how to do that. I wish the world knew that we don't have to fear everything. I think we live in so much fear, and we don't need to. The world brings me joy. Nature, animals, I don't know. I love this life. I'm so thankful for this gift. I can't imagine a more beautiful world. This world is so beautiful to me. It's perfect, and it's not flawless, but to me it's perfect. And I'm not saying that because I'm privileged. Well, maybe I am saying that because I'm privileged, but I've had heartache and I see the devastation in the world around me, but I just have this, I have this deep trust that this is where we are and where it's meant to be. And I think it's going in the right direction, and I believe in us, and I believe in every soul on this planet to be able to work towards where it needs to go. And I can't imagine maybe a more beautiful world where we just trust each other and ourselves a little bit more.